Good afternoon, everyone. There is something magical about stories, isn't there? They travel without passports, they enter hearts without knocking, and sometimes they quietly change us without announcing. And today, 21st February, being International Mother Language Day, makes this gathering even more special because every story begins in a mother tongue, isn't it? When we hear our very first story, it's always in our mother tongue as children and the language that shaped us, our thoughts, our emotions, and our memories. On this beautiful day, we gather not just to listen to stories, but to experience reflections of life through different voices, different cities, and different journeys. Today, all our storytellers are from India, and how beautiful that is because India itself is a living library of stories spoken into countless mother tongues. So, let us begin. Our very first storyteller of the day is Shilpa Mehta from Jaipur. Her name means creativity and craftsmanship. How fitting that she brings us a tale of clever minds traveling across cultures. Thank you, Shilpa, and I welcome you to be the very first teller of the day, and the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Sheetal. Hello, everyone. I'm Shilpa Mehta, a storyteller and an author who believes that stories are empowering. I have authored academic books for children, and my fictional woven tales have found their way into various anthologies. I write both in Hindi and English. I have had the privilege of performing at numerous literary and storytelling events on national and global platforms. I am also a reading champion for storytelling sessions with Pratham Books under the One Day One Story campaign in my city, Jaipur. And through my YouTube channel, Shilpa Story Rack, I always strive to reach out to people by exposing them to a wide range of stories across genres, both in Hindi and in English. My purpose is to spread stories far and wide, to keep the oral tradition of storytelling alive and bring joy and smile on people's face. I am glad to be a part of Chennai Storytelling Festival once again. Thank you, Dr. Eric. And today I will tell you a new version of a very well known story in which, as a storyteller, I have added my own touch. So let's dive in. There was once a king and a queen, oh, like you always have, and they had seven children, seven boys, and each one of those boys was born on a different day of the week. And in this kingdom, order mattered, time mattered, and naming was power. Because what we name, we shape, and what we shape, we control. Now, as each boy was born on a different day of the week, so the king and the queen named them after time itself. The eldest one was Sunday, then came Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday, and the youngest. They called him Shabbos, the day of rest, the day of pause. And all of the boys were good boys, well raised boys. One day, when they were grown up, they came to their father, the king, and they said, Father, we are grown up now. We want to go out into the world looking for a fortune and destiny. Good, good, great idea. The world belongs to the brave. Then he looked at Shabbos. Not you. You are young. You stay back. Please, 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 father. I can do what my brothers do. I am grown up too. Let me go. Please, 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 please. Okay. All right, Shabbos. You may go too. But all of you, you must promise me that you will never quarrel. You will never turn power against each other. You will live like good brothers should live. Yes, we promise. They promised and they left. They walked, they laughed, they shared food, they shared stories, they shared dreams. They walked for 7 days on the road. And on the seventh day, well, you know it, they came to the crossroads. But would you imagine that crossroad? Was it split into two? No, no, no. It was not split into two, not in four. It was split into seven roads. Great. Each one of us will take our own road and find our own fortune. And after a year, we will come back here and tell each other what we have found. So each brother chose his own road. After a year, they came back to the same place and laid their powers on the table like achievements. Shabos asked, "So, Sandy, what did you find?" "Ah, I found a pair of spectacles." "Spectacles? What's so special about the spectacles?" "Oh, they are magic. Whenever I look through them, I can see whatever I desire, even if it is miles away." "Good," Mandy said. "I found a magic fiddle. Whoever hears the music falls asleep." And Tuesday said, "I didn't find a thing. I learned a thing. I can take out anything from anybody's pocket or out of anybody's hand without the person knowing it." You have become a big pocket." And Wednesday said, "Now talking about pockets, I found a magic coat. Its pocket can hold anything, whether it's small or large." Thursday said, "I found an oak twig, and when I wave it, wooden bullets fly and enemies flee." That would come handy in case of war. But let's hope there's no war. Friday said, "I found a bow and arrow, and whatever I aim my arrow, I can hit it, be it as small as a seed in the beak of a bird flying high." And Shabbos, what about you? "Oh, I can throw anything, whether it's small or big or as heavy as a millstone, into the sky. And when it falls back to the earth, I can catch it so gently that it does not break." "Good. Come, let's go home." And they started going home. Now, on their way home, they came to a city, and the city was all shrouded in black. Black cloth was hanging down from the balcony, black flags were fluttering in the wind. The people were all dressed in black. They were looking very sad. "What's the matter?" "Oh, well, our princess. Oh, she was so pretty and kind. We all loved her. But she has vanished. Somebody has abducted her. And we don't know who. We don't know where." The brothers looked at each other. "Show us the way to your king." And when they stood in front of the king, they said, "Well, we can help to get your daughter back." "Oh, how will you do that?" "Well, Sandy, you guessed it." He took out his spectacles and looked through. "I see a grey castle, and in that castle, I see an old man with grey hair, grey beard, wrinkled face, and he is holding the hand of a girl. What what does she look like?" "There's something peculiar. Her left hand has 6 fingers. That's her. That's my daughter." And so the brothers went to bring her back. They went to that grey castle and knocked at the door. The servant opened the door. "What do you want?" "We want to talk to your master." "You can't. He's busy. It's his wedding day today." "Well, we know. That's why we are here. We are musicians. We will play for his ceremony." And so they were led into that big hall that was filled with wedding guests. And on a little podium, there stood the magician holding the crying princess. Mandy started to play his fiddle, and one by one, the guests fell asleep. The magician fell asleep. The princess fell asleep. but not the seven brothers. Now Tuesday came up and freed the princess from the hold of the magician who didn't wake up. And Wednesday put her into his pocket. She fit there. They walked out of the castle and nobody stopped them. They didn't know that they took the princess away. After a while, the magician woke. He saw that the princess was gone. Guards, get on your horses and ride after them quickly. Bring the princess back. And the guards hopped on their horses and they stormed away to find the seven brothers. Gallop, 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 gallop. The brothers heard them coming. They turned around and Thursday waved his oak twig. Wooden bullets started flying around and the horses got scared. They turned around, galloped back home with the guards heard from the bullets. They told the magician, "We are sorry, we couldn't get the princess." Ah, good for nothing, people. Whenever something has to be done, I have to do it myself. Ha! He was so furious, changed into a vulture and flew up high. And here the brothers kept walking and they walked till they came to a huge, shady old tree. Wednesday took the princess out of the pocket. They thought they were out of danger now and they fell asleep. But the magician, the vulture, was flying up high, looking north, looking south, looking east, looking west, and finally he saw them under the tree. He swooped down and picked up the princess in his beak and flew up high. Help! 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 And the seven brothers woke up. Friday quickly took out his bow and his arrow and he aimed. He shot. The arrow flew up and up and up, right into the eye of the vulture. The vulture cried, ah! It was a death cry. Opened his beak and the princess fell down. She fell and she fell and she fell faster and faster, and Shabbos ran swiftly and caught her in his hands and put her down on the ground. And there she stood, radiant with joy. Oh my God, she was so beautiful. They had never seen such a beautiful woman. And now something happened that never should have happened. These brothers started to quarrel because each one of them wanted to marry her. "I will marry her," said Sunday. "I saw her first." Monday shouted, "Oh, how can you marry her? If I hadn't played the fiddle, we couldn't have gotten her. So I will marry her." "Eh, if I hadn't freed her from the magician and put her in my pocket, she would not have been here. You all be quiet. I will marry her." "Eh, I scared away the guards. I killed the magician. Else we all would have been dead. I will marry her." Each one of them listed their contribution as if love were a ledger, as if a woman were a reward at the end of a successful mission. "Brothers," Shabbos said, "it's true, but I caught her, and that's why she's alive. But we shouldn't quarrel about it. Each one of us is just thinking about himself. Not one of us has thought about what she wants." "Oh, I know. Women want beautiful clothes. No, 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 no. They want a handsome husband and blah, 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 blah." The princess heard everything. She smiled. "I thank you all so much. Altogether, you have rescued me, and all my life I will be thankful to all of you, and you will be my best friends throughout my life. But as to spend the rest of my life with any one of you, it's Shabbos." Huh? Not because he saved me from dying, but because he was the only one who remembered that my life belongs to me. He was the only one to ask me what I wanted. Women do not desire only beauty or wealth. Women do not desire attention. What women desire most is sovereignty, the power to make their own choices, the freedom to decide their own life. I will marry you, Shabos. And I don't have to tell you that the princess and Shabos got married and they lived happily ever after. And friends, maybe not only women, I think every human heart desires sovereignty, to be seen, to be heard, to choose. So I leave you with a question. Who is the Shabos in your life? The one who pauses and listens, and in whose life are you willing to pause and ask them what they want? Because love without listening is not love, and power without pause is not wisdom, isn't it? Thank you.
What a beautiful reflection you have kept the story with. And that was really wonderful, Shilpa. So, yes, anybody would start to give the answer. Who's the Shabos in your life?
I would like
Do,
to add something. I told this story because this story spoke to me. Because at its heart was a question which was so simple and yet so rare. What does a woman want? Yes. So, because for generations, women have been told what to do, what to be, what to sacrifice. But this story, it gave space to a woman's inner voice, her choice. And that moment of asking was not just a question, it was dignity, it was respect and recognition. And for me, this story is not just a story of magic. I see it as a story of respect, of choice, and equality. And I told this story because I believe that stories can restore forgotten voices. Because somewhere, someone in the audience might need to hear that their choice matters. And also, perhaps somewhere within me too, there was a quiet voice that wanted to be heard.
that is so true, so true. So, that's one thing. This story goes a lot into depth, right? When we ask the question that what women want, isn't it? Because I think nowadays, since people are getting aware about psychology, about a lot of healing is going on, a lot of reflections on thoughts are going on. So yes, people have started understanding. But as far as I know, during my mom times and all, they would never be questioned that what do you like to do, or in fact, a very personal, I would say, is when we go to a restaurant to have dinner on Sundays, it's never my choice. It's
Yes,
either my husband's choice or my kid's choice. I mean,
yes,
I'm just sidelined even today. So,
yes.
if somebody comes and asks, what do you want to eat? Then I'm like blank. I don't
Thank.
know what to
Yeah.
say because nobody has asked me this question till now. Right. So then you start feeling special. Oh, really? Am my choice matters? Like
Yes.
it's something like that. So yes, very beautiful. Anybody else would like to ask her any question or any reflection on the story? Yes, Shivani.
Yes, I would like to answer Shilpa's question. She said, now who are you in someone else, suppose in someone else's life? I
Right.
think if we start very young with our daughters, asking them what you want, and this I've been reflecting a lot on her. This is what we are telling, but what do you want to do? Asking her, giving her choices, or do you want to take this? So I think starting very young and asking them, I think that is the biggest sabos in young girls' life.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Shivani.
Yes. And
I
Shraddha has yes, yes, Geethanjali, please go on.
I would like to give a feedback to Shilpa. Shilpa, lovely narration, Shilpa. And very few stories we have where the female character is given importance and she takes a decision. Very rare. I don't think most of the stories are, the princess type of stories, the folk tales. All of the man comes and rescues the women. Somebody, the demon comes and rescues her. Someone rescues, but then at the end, the women decides in this story, right? Someone rescues, but the female is taking the decision what to do, what not to do. I think we find rarely tales like that. But by the way, what is the title of the story?
Then this is a very famous story. You must have heard. This is actually Sir Gawain and Lady Ragnall's story. But I found a different version by Margaret Mayo,
Okay.
and then I added my own flavor in that. Yes. But the basic crux of both the stories is that the women want
Mhm.
sovereignty, the power
Yeah.
to decide and to choose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely narration, Shilpa.
Thank you.
Yes, so Shraddha has given a comment. An alternate ending could be that the princess decided that what she wants is not to be married, but stay friends with all the brothers and maybe start a rescue folks in trouble gang that roams the countryside helping people.
Oh,
That's
lovely,
me.
Shraddha. Thank you so much. I am going to modify the story again and put this ending crediting you. Thank you so much.
Yes, so from this, yes, we got a very good. Yes, Kajal, please carry on.
So I love the twist, and it can always be said like this. I love twisting. Now, um, it can be ended in a way saying that using the what was said before. Now you would imagine she would get married to one of the brothers, but this is not the 16th or the 10th century, whatever you want to add. But this is 21st century, and she decided something different. And then she can ask the audience what is the different thing, and then a conversational story also
Wonderful.
turned into that. I love the story. Thank you so much for sharing and adding
Thank
your
you.
own twist and your flavor. You
Thank
actually own now it's your story. You owned it by making the changes. Thank you so much.
thank you.
There were people waiting in the waiting room.
Hmm.
Yes, so I think all the questions which were put forward, that does the story teach you any lesson? It's of course, she's already reflected on us, right? That what does it, we should always be listening to people. Nowadays, that skill is no more in people. Everybody wants to just talk, but nobody wants to listen, especially when a woman is talking, right? They would say, wait a minute, wait a minute. I think this goes from the boardrooms to the kitchens, everywhere, isn't it? It does happen everywhere. So, yes, it is so important that when somebody listens to us or asks us for, go before anybody else. So, yes. Is there anything which you would like to add to the story, or so does any instances in your life which comes into your mind while you hear to this story or while you are telling to this story? So as I told, that when we go to restaurant and I'm never asked my choice. So something like that reflects on anybody else, real reflections in your life by listening to this story. So, when we are listening something, we always say, हाँ, मेरे साथ भी ऐसा कुछ हुआ था. That kind. As anybody got that, thought.
Sheetal, I would say you have given a perfect example, which I think
Huh.
most of the women must have experienced. Most of the women.
Right. So something that you remember, or something like that. Anybody? Even if you're offline, if you are not able to on your camera, you can please tell. Okay. So again, here, she only Shraddha already gave, if she had to change, the end of the story, she already gave one twist,
Yes,
right? And you already have twisted, I mean, made the story in your own words. So
yes.
the third question also is very much answered, that might you would like to add to the story or change in any other way. So I think you have already changed the original story. So that was wonderful, Shilpa. Thank you so much for this story. And yes, it has put us into a lot of thoughts. I think our hubbies need to listen to the story.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Thank
And
you
best
so much.
wishes for your Hindi telling and hosting it.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So that was a very, very wonderful story today, isn't it? How we reflect on the stories and how the questions we are putting forward, when a storyteller tells a story, is something which we need to really, really learn from, isn't it? Okay, so now let's move on to our next star of the day, and that is Shivani Bhatnagar from Pune. Shivani, are you ready?
Yes, all set.
Yes.
Huh.
Okay. So from Pune, we welcome Shivani, a name associated with strength and grace. Today, she brings us destiny unfolding, a reminder that life reveals itself step by step. So, Shivani, the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. I hope my internet also helps me to provide the story uninterrupted. It is getting unstable in between, but it's okay. So, hi everyone. I am Shivani and currently I'm in Pune. Storyteller is, I might be very young in telling the stories within the groups, but stories have always with me since childhood. I was born in one state of India and studied in different state, and so on. I've been moving to different states in India. Most of my study years and the grown-up years have been spent in state of Gujarat. And today, the story that I'm bringing is one of the folklores from Gujarat. Today, I would like you to take to the land, one of the land of the Gujarat, that is Saurashtra. From the dry, rugged hills to the stretches of lush green Gir forest. And the Gir forest, they stretch until their feet touch the salty Arabian Sea. Midst of these woods, there was a kingdom when the king ruled. In the maze of the woods, there is a continuous sound that is coming. And the sound continues. The X keeps hitting the wood in a rhythm until the wood is all cut into pieces. Today, Suresh is continuously cutting all the trees that he can find and bundling up together for the evening market. He's been there since the first ray of the sun and collecting the woods because selling the woods in the market is the only way of his earning food for his family. His kurta is all drenched in sweat and it clings to him like a second skin. While he's busy in his work, there is a bhajan mandli that is walking through the woods, walking through the same woods and singing a beautiful bhajan. Vidina lekha lekh lalate saat saat thai thai thai. Vidhina lekha lekh lalate sacha thai thai thai. This bhajan Suresh has heard many a times in temples while he was growing up from his parents. It roughly translates into whatever is written in your destiny will definitely get true. Just hearing it and letting go, Suresh continues his work, bundles up all the wood that he has cut, put on his shoulder, and he starts walking towards the market. As he enters the market, all the forest sounds are bust into the market sounds. Lailo, lailo, 50 paisa naik, 50 paisa naik. The market is selling things. They're selling flour, they are selling woods, they are selling household items. Suresh walks up to his usual spot. He put down the heavy logs of the wood in front of him and is ready to sell the woods. He stands there looking at the people walk by. In the end of the day, he's all tired and he walks back to home. He looks at his hand. Only 3 rupees? That's it? I've been working since morning. I've been cutting woods day after day, and that's it? I get 3 rupees? And while he is worrying about his destiny, his eyes fell on a shop. A very short, stout merchant is sitting in the shop, surrounded by beautiful white silk sofas, and he sits there comfortably in the shop under the shade. And people come in, rushing and giving bundles and bundles of note to him. And he happily takes that bundle of note, opens the wooden chest in front of him and keeps the money there secure. And he sits with the hand on the wooden chest like this. And Suresh is all fumed up, anger. I've been working since morning and I get 3. And look at him. He's sitting there. He bursts into the shop and shouts at the merchant, "You, give me all the money. You are sitting here and doing nothing. And look at me. I'm drenched. I'm dirty. I've been cutting woods. And 3 rupees. That's it. This is so unfair, so unfair. Give me all the money. I should get all that money." "Who are you?" The merchant, worried and shocked and surprised, who just walked in. "Who are you? Go out of my shop. How can you come here and ask my money? It is my money. And you said, I don't work hard. I have to be very vigilant. I have to see what these people are selling and what money is coming. I have to be very, very vigilant about what is coming towards, what is going out of my shop and what is coming inside my shop. And if you are very worried about your money and your hard work, go to the king. He'll be very happy to help you. Leave. Go out of my shop. Go." Suresh was not ready to take it up. This is not destiny. I don't believe in destiny. Hard work is something that should give me money. But yes, you told true. Let's go to the king. Let's go to the king and I'll tell him that what is wrong in his kingdom. So both of them walked towards the court of the king. As they entered the court, it was all filled up with people lined up, ready to meet the king. As they look at the throne, it was empty. The king was nowhere. But the councils and the people in his kingdom were all working. There were treasurers coming in. There were people working on papers. There were people going all around. After a few minutes, the king came and sat down peacefully and smiled and looked at all his people working. Merchant was a bit surprised. He teared through the crowd and went directly to the king and pointed him and at the top of his voice, "King, how it can be? You were not here. How can you just leave all your treasuries and work to these people? How can you trust? I think you should go and sit in my shop and I'll sit in your kingdom. I'll be better to rule your kingdom because I know how to keep a watch on the people." So the king smiled and called both of them forward. What the matter was? Why are they both shouting and angry? The woodcutter came up and said to the king, "King, I am out of my house from the first ray of the sun to the last ray of the sun. I keep cutting the woods. I keep collecting the woods. I take all the load on my shoulder, walks mile and mile, and then sell my wood. And 3 rupees, that's it? That's the only thing I get? And I don't believe in destiny. You can't tell me that this is my destiny. I believe that you don't know how to rule. Everything is unfair in your kingdom. In your kingdom, the hardest work is getting the smallest reward. And that's why I say the merchant's money should come to me." And the merchant burst out, "And I should actually sit on your throne and you should sit in my shop." The king calmly listened to both of them. He sat there listening. "Okay, I understand. Both of you. You both think and you both believe that your life is unfair. To resolve your conflict, I, myself, the king, will come with you. All 3 of us, we are going to go in a place where nobody knows us. Nobody knows that you are a merchant, you are a woodcutter, or I am the king. The only thing that we have to do is to get out 3 days and bring food. That will be our responsibility to bring food for the rest of us." So all 3 of them agreed and they started the journey next day. And they walked and walked and walked. While they were walking out of the forest to the nearby village where nobody knows them, the same bhajan mandali was passing by them. "Vijina lekha lekh lalate, sacha thai thai thai." So they finally reached a village where nobody knew them. It was day 1 and it was woodcutter's chance to go out and do something to earn the food for all 3 of them. So the woodcutter set out early and started to visit the village people and asking if they need any help into that. He also went into the fields to help the villagers with the crops. And suddenly, an old lady came up and asked if anybody knows how to cut the wood because she needs wood for burning. And then another lady came up and said if anybody knows how to cut the wood because she wants to lay the wood on the roof of his house. So the woodcutter already, I know how to cut the woods. So he went towards the village and people started asking different kind of woods from him to cut for different purpose. This time the woodcutter cut the woods according to the requirement. And the village people were very happy and they paid him a very good amount of money. He went back to them and brought a lavish, yummiest food all 3 have ever eaten. Now, the next day, it was merchant's job to go out and earn food for all 3 of them. He was a little worried. So, the woodcutter strength of cutting the wood actually helped him. All his strength did brought money. What should I do? What should I do? Should I also go and ask people if I can help? Okay. So he went on house to house asking if anybody needs a help. I'll be able to help. All tired and no help he could give to anyone. Suddenly, a village merchant was passing by with 3 bullock carts. And the merchant stood up. Hey, village merchant, can I come with you? I know how to sell the goods and I can help you. I'll come with you. Take me. I can give you more profit. The village merchant said, why, let's do one thing. I have 3 carts. Take the 3rd cart to the east side of the market and start selling in the higher price. Whatever profit you get, give me a small portion of it, and the rest is all yours. Our merchant was, you are trusting me? You don't even know me. How you just gave me the 3rd card? I can take. What if I take all the money and run away? So the village merchant said, this is how the business is done. I have to trust you, and I can't be everywhere and at the same moment. So go to the East Market, sell all the goods, and we'll meet here again in the evening and give me the portion of whatever profit you get. So our merchant took the 3rd cart, went to the East Market, and did best in his skills of selling the goods. He earned triple of what the amount was decided for the goods. He came back in the evening, and the village merchant and our merchant, they met at the crossroads. Whatever the portion was decided of the profit, and back to the king and the woodcutter. He brought lavish, yummiest, delicious food. And with all the excitement, he was telling to the king what happened today. So the king sat back, just listening to him what happened throughout the day. The 3rd day, it was king's turn. Early in the morning, the king went out, started from nearby village, and he started on looking what is happening all around. And then he found few kids playing up there and quarreling. He went up there and helped to resolve the quarrel of the kids. Then he walked a little bit forward. They were older people who were not able to read. So he sat with them and helped them read. Then there were few ladies who were not able to pull all the water buckets. So he helped them. And everyone who he helped was very happy, and in return, they gave him something or the other, either a fruit or a little part of grain or even some coins. This way, the king walked and walked from one village to other village to the 3rd village. As he reached the 4th village, he found it a bit strange. The roads were all empty, the doors were closed, and there were no one all around to talk to. Well, he was tired, so he sat there in the first road of that village. And suddenly, there was a commotion. Hail to the king! Hail to the king! Our king is here! Our king is here! The king was surprised. Huh? Who king? Nobody knows me. I'm not the king. And all the villagers came out of the door and put him up and started, our king, you are our king from today. So the king said, no, please, no, I'm not your king. I'm just a traveler and helping you around. The villagers said, no, you are our king. Last week, our king died and he has left no heir to the throne. So we decided after the 7th day, whoever will be the first person to come our village will be our king. And it is you. So you are our new king from today. So they all gathered, took him to the palace and started preparing for the feast. So the king, also happy, said to his new pupil, please go and bring the merchant and the woodcutter who live 3 villages away from here. After a while, the woodcutter and the merchant came and sat with the king while eating the lavish dinner. Both of them asked the king, how did you become the king of this kingdom? What happened here? So the king said, dear merchant, did you see? Nobody here knew you, but yet again, you ended up selling the goods and being the merchant, taking the goods here and there. But did you notice? How did you earn The maximum money, it is when you started to trust and move. Similarly, he said to the woodcutter, woodcutter, did you see when nobody knew that you know how to cut the woods, still you ended up cutting the woods? And you actually earned a lot, more than 5 rupees, more than 10 rupees you got. It is because you worked according to what was the requirement. What people required, you cut that wood, and then you got the maximum money. So similarly, whatever the destiny has given you, it will definitely come to you. But to make it grand and lavish and luxury, you have to put a little of smart work there. So the merchant and the woodcutter said, yes, we understood. But the king, what about you? So the king said, my work is the most hardest one because I have to bring people together, maintain the harmony so that everyone under me works perfectly fine and in synchronicity. So the kingdom grows and grows and grows. And this is how the words of the Bhajan Mandali came to their destination. Vidina lekha lekh lalate sacha thai thai thai. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing story, Shivani. I'm so happy to hear your story because a part of it was in Gujarati, and I'm very much from Saurashtra, Gujarat. Which part of Saurashtra you are from?
Perfect, perfect. So I would like to ask the audience, what if you were in a place of king? How would you have told the merchant and the woodcutter that destiny, yes, it comes to you in whatever way, but yes, a little bit of smart work is also required.
Yes. She's asked this question to the audience.
Anything that you would have done differently, what the king actually did?
Anybody from the audience? You can talk by keeping your video off also.
Yes. So the point of the destiny, no matter how much I tried to have the internet all stable, still it was unstable.
No, it was very much stable.
But
We
still.
didn't find anywhere, where you were not heard or where the voice was lagging or something. So
Yeah,
you
but
were
it's
perfect.
you were a smart, little bit of smart work. Yes.
Yes.
Or anything that you would like to comment on the story. How did you like the story?
Yes, Kajal, I see you raised
Yeah,
the hand.
hi. I just read Meenu saying that it's a great management story. Of course, it is a great management story and equivalent, not similar. It reminded me of the pothole story. If you have read, you can Google it. It's quite familiar. It's like if one way doesn't work, try another way. And the woodcutter was actually chained to a cycle.
Hmm.
He was just following the routine and
Hmm.
expected miracle out of it.
Right.
You
True.
cannot keep doing the same thing and then expect something different happening.
Definitely.
It
Yes.
doesn't work like that. And the story is so good that you need to change your ways. So, woodcutter, just to feed the merchant and the king,
Hmm.
tried a very different way. He did not get up in the morning and go to the forest to cut the wood. He went
Definitely.
to the village asking if anyone, needs help. So usually what is the mindset of human being is when it comes to doing for oneself, they are stuck in that chain.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
but when you have to do it for someone, that's when we try to explore different ways just to prove ourselves we are great, right?
Hmm.
We wanted to provide a lavish meal. The thing is, it also teaches the self-value. Have some self-value. You know, if you think 3 rupees is not enough for me, what should I do to turn the tide for myself?
True.
So this is if you go deeper and deeper, this story has a multiple layer.
Yes, multiple. Yes.
Multiple layer. You just, I'm thinking, I'm also some thoughts. I'm also thinking, how did I think this thought? So, thank you so much. This was one beautiful story I've not heard, but I loved it. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Kajal. Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for pointing
The
it
Anybody
out.
else?
story,
Yes,
can I
it's
comment? Can I
always
comment,
going out
Sheetal?
of the way.
Sure.
Mm.
I'm
I
sorry,
think the
somebody's
story,
talking.
as Meenu has a message, it's perfect for a corporate setting. The HR should narrate this story to his teammates. Will work wonderful. Nice story. I haven't heard it before. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Somebody was talking while Geethanjali was talking. Okay, that's fine. So, if we go to the series of questions, is there
Mm.
a character or event that you really connect with in this story? तो अगेन वही बात आती है राइट कि
Yeah.
मैंने मेरे साथ भी ऐसा कुछ हुआ है રાઈટ
Hmm.
if we say it in
Ah,
Hindi કે મારી
somewhere
સાથે
you
એવું ક્યાંક
yeah.
મારી સાથે એવું કંઈક થયું છે right so yes something like
Yes.
this has happened to me yes Kajal over to you
That one thing which came was the how we fall back to our own patterns.
All right.
The woodcutter went on to do wood cutting only. He didn't become a merchant.
Hmm.
Correct. So we fall back to the same patterns that we are comfortable in. But how to push ourselves in through within that pattern, this story is very good for that. I faced it when because being a neurodivergent, I get bored of things within 3 or 4 years.
Hmm.
And there was a point where I got bored of being a storyteller. I was looking for what to do now. So I had a friend who gave me a very good suggestion and said, do everything, then come back to storytelling.
Hmm.
Include, because storytelling is an art, right? And it's part of an art, do whatever, and then come back to it. That's how I have stayed quite a while in this profession.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I am something who learns everything, and by third, fourth year, I'm said I'm done. Now I have to learn something new.
Hmm.
I think the pattern which is there, I felt that I
Connected.
pushed.
Yeah.
I was just stuck there in that thing.
Hmm.
Thank you so
Correct.
much.
Thank you. Um, for the first question, right, is there any character or event that you really connected with in the story? When I was searching for this story and reading through the story, the merchant character is like, you're already earning, you're already doing very good, but then there is no trust factor. How will you flourish from there? Then there is this scariness, then you're very vigilant, then you don't trust people with your work or with your business. This is maybe something for even for entrepreneurs or someone who is really starting into business. They have to leave their inhibitions and go out, trust people that yes, they can also take care of their work as they do. So that is one character that felt, yeah, this is something in today's time people have to like trust a bit. What about others? If anybody liked any character or anything that they connected with?
okay so what lesson we take from the
Hmm.
story I think that one thing we can reflect on right
Hmm.
would anybody like to say anything what lesson do you take from this story
Yeah, may I?
yes Shara please
Yeah, like for me, it's not just a lesson, it's like the story is telling us that craft is not enough. We need wisdom. Sometimes we might have the talent, we are doing it, but then we don't have the wisdom to let ourselves grow. So that is what exactly happened. The woodcutter was very good at cutting wood. He would cut tirelessly from morning till evening. But then he didn't use his talent. He said, what can I do with the wood? Obviously, I'll get only 3 rupees if I'm just selling wood. That was just, raw wood, which is not, anything is not done with it. And you will get only that 3 rupees. Similarly, the merchant, he was so untrusting of people that all that he could do was keep a vigilant eye. So where was the scope for him to grow? There was no scope. So he had that craft of being very vigilant. He knew how to keep his, the whatever his treasures very safe. And here was the king, truly a king, the wisdom of the king, who gave them the thing. You need to use some other talent of yours to progress. And that is what the whole story was about. And Shivani, I love your telling. I love that voice of yours. It's so beautiful. It's so soothing listening to you. Wonderful, Shivani.
Thank you so much, Shaila. Thank you.
Yes, anybody else? There is some message. Okay, it was Shraddha. Okay, so are we ready to move on to our next teller? Please remove me from this spotlight. I have removed her. Is she seen? Kajal is seen in the spotlight?
Yeah, because usually whoever speaks, they should come in spotlight. I'm only seeing my yes, so I'm only there in spotlight.
Okay, now I have removed
the next teller is Meenu, isn't it?
Meenu, yes, Eric.
So
No, but I was.
We should put Meenu spotlight for everyone.
Yes.
Go ahead. You do that, please.
Yes. So now we have our next teller, Meenu from Bangalore. And she is going to tell the story about the lost ruby, a story about something precious. So Meenu, a name that means fish, always moving, always searching. So over to you, Meenu.
Am I on spotlight? Yeah.
There we go.
You are on spotlight, yes.
Okay. So, how much of what troubles us right now is truly happening? And how much is happening only in our minds? Perhaps the storm is not always outside us. Perhaps it is the one we carry within. And yet, there are those rare souls who, even when faced with injustice, even when standing alone under suspicion, do not let their minds become the storm. Just like how this light, came at the right time. They remain steady. They remain present. They remain true. And my dear listeners, this story is of such a moment. Namaste, Namaskara, Vanakkam. My name is Meenu Sivaramakrishnan, a professional storyteller, a theatre enthusiast, theatre facilitator, voice artist, Carnatic singer, and an educator based out of Bengaluru, India. To know more about me, please do check out my website. I have put that on the chat. Now, without further ado, let's get started. I have to take you back to a very, very, very long time. Really long time when our land, India, was ruled by the great kings. And let me take you to a kingdom that was ruled by a very good and powerful king. It was one day when this king was sitting with his council of ministers. And there was this chief minister who was a wise man who looked at the king and noticed that the king was looking quite sad. So he immediately asked the king, "Oh, defender of the world, why are you looking sad today?" You ought not to allow grief trouble your mind, he said. Now the king looked at the chief minister back, and he did not share about his grief, but he said, Minister, it's quite easy to say what you have just said. But if you have a reason to be sad, then I'm sure you will find it impossible to practice what you have just said. The chief minister just smiled. And that's it, he left it at that. But the king was not someone who would leave it at that. He asked the chief minister to step out and wait for him for some time. He dismissed the council, and then he came out carrying a beautiful casket, ivory casket in his hand. He went to the chief minister and said, Minister, this is a very special stone, and I feel somehow that it's not quite safe for me to keep this stone with me right now. And so I would want you to keep it safe for me until I give you my further orders, he said, and took out a red ruby and showed it to the minister. The minister looked at it. He bowed to the king. He said, As you wish, your majesty. He took the casket with the ruby, went back to his house, gave it to his wife, and asked her to keep it safe. Immediately, the wife kept it inside one of the partitions in her cash box, and both of them never thought about it after that. But, my dear listeners, little did they know that this was all part of King's plan. And he had sent a spy who had followed all the way up to the chief minister's house and observed where the red ruby was exactly stored. He immediately went back to the king and informed him. A few days passed. One of the servants who was working in the chief minister's house was bribed, and he was told the location of the stone. The ruby was taken, returned to the king. And what do you think the king did with that? Perhaps not what you're thinking. He threw it. Yes, it was gone. Poindi into the river. Yes. That was done. The chapter of ruby was closed. A couple of days passed. The chief minister was summoned, and the king said, Minister, if you remember, I had given you a special stone for use for safekeeping a few days back. And the chief minister agreed, yes, your majesty, and I have it safely in my house, he said. So, minister, I want you to fetch it for me right now. So the chief minister rushed back home. He asked his wife to get the red ruby. Well, you know, I know. The red ruby, yes, is not there. The wife and the husband were shocked. They searched everywhere. The cash box, yes, she had kept it right there in that cash box in one of the partitions. Where did it go? Did it fly away? Did it walk away? What has happened? Is that a magic stone or something? The chief minister rushed back to the kingdom and he said, Majesty, I really don't know. I'm confused, but I'm not able to find the stone today. Your Majesty, please, can you give me just a few more days and for sure I will return it to you, he said. The king was smiling within, but he said, Minister, you have been working with me for quite some time, and so I give you 3 days. Yes, 3 days. And that's it. After these 3 days, if you do not return my ruby, it's not just your life, but the life of all those who are dear to you will be taken. And not just that, your house will be razed down, he declared. The chief minister was shattered. With a heavy heart, he returned home. The husband and wife again searched the entire house. They searched every shelf, every drawer, every cupboard in their house, even their clothes, the utensils in the kitchen, every nook and corner of their house. Where did it go? Where was the ruby? There was no answer. With the mysterious disappearance of the ruby, the chief minister now lost all hope of finding it. He told himself, I don't have anyone dear to me except my wife. And now it is quite clear that the two of us are not going to live beyond these 3 days. We're going to have these last 3 days on earth. So why not we just enjoy these last 3 days on earth? He said. And then he called his wife, explained to her and said, my dear, bring out all our wealth, all our money. Let's just spend them lavishly. Let's just spend them freely. After all, 3 days we have on this earth, he said. What? Now the wife, she cried out loud. She wept so bitterly. She lamented. She was shell-shocked. She just couldn't bear this. She cried and cried and cried. Why? Why this? Why is this happening to us? What did we do for anyone? What harm did we cause to anyone at all in this world? Why? Why is this happening? She cried and cried and cried her heart out. And finally, resigned to reality. What else can she do, isn't it? Fate has dealt a cruel blow on us. At least let's accept it with dignity and good cheer. She said she accepted it. And so the next day saw the commencement of great revelry in Chief Minister's house. Oh yes, musicians of different kinds from very, very far and near were called to the Chief Minister's house. The halls were filled with guests. Night and day there was music, there was laughter, rich food was served. So much so that the neighbors and others began to wonder, wow, kya baat hai yaar? What luck has suddenly hit this chief minister, has come this chief minister's way. Arey wah! See what the world speaks when that man and the wife are going through something else. Well, but I must tell you, my dear listeners, the chief minister was also a good man, you see. It was not about partying, spending all the money, drinking, dancing, singing. Yeah, that was there. But this man and wife also gave away a lot to the poor. They served to the poor. They donated to the poor. And whoever came to their house, they welcomed everyone with open arms. And they never let anyone leave empty-handed. In fact, some guests, if they came with a basket of customary fruits or sweets or whatever, they were even given gold coins in return. Now, this news, cannot stay just within the house, isn't it? The news did spread, though there was no technology that time, though there was no internet, no Insta, but still, word of mouth, nothing can beat it, isn't it? And it spread far and wide. And in the neighboring village, there was a flower lady. And when she heard the news, wow, gold coin, I must not miss this opportunity, she said. And then she immediately filled her basket with some fruits and she collected fresh, fragrant flowers, made it into a nice garland, took it to the chief minister's house. And yes, it was accepted. She was served delicious food, and in return, she got a gold coin. Oh, she was so excited. She was thrilled, and she rushed back to her village and immediately shared it with her friend, her neighbor. This neighbor, this friend, unlike the flower lady, was quite poor. Whatever she and her husband earned was barely enough for them to have even 2 meals a day. She was like, wow, a gold coin? Wow, if I could get a gold coin, I could run my household for a few months. But then, what will I go and give the chief minister? I don't have anything to give him. She was again so terribly upset. But destiny had something else planned for her, you see. The next day morning, when the husband went for work, after he went for work as usual, and when he returned, he came with something quite big. The wife was surprised. The moment she saw that, she remembered what her friend had told her. Chief minister's house. Yes, now I have something. She immediately discussed it with her husband. Both of them were in agreement. She wrapped that in a clean cloth, put it inside a basket, and immediately went to the chief minister's house. Yes, it's the same thing as you would have already guessed. The chief minister accepted it. Doesn't matter who comes to his house, isn't it? He just wanted to spend the time with people. The last 3 days, after all he had. Doesn't matter who they were, what they gave him. He welcomed her the two of them, chief minister and his wife, welcomed her with open arms. They served her delicious food that they had prepared. And then it was not 1, but 2 coins that the lady got. She was so excited. She was on top of the world. Her joy knew no bounds. She immediately said, bless you, great man. Bless you with a long and happy life, she said, and returned to her village. Long and happy life. The chief minister and the wife had nothing to say. They just smiled at each other. The 3rd day was spent as usual with welcoming guests, taking whatever they wanted to give, serving them and keeping them happy. And the 3 days were gone. It was the last night. It was the last night, and the chief minister and his wife sat beside each other. My dear, you know, the time has come. It's the last night that we have to spend on this earth. Tomorrow when we go to the palace, it's going to be our execution. So, my dear, I was just thinking, why not we spend this night doing something together? Perhaps making something that we love to do, a favorite meal that we can prepare together and have, he said. And the wife, immediately her face brightened and she was like, oh yes, dear one, I remember now. there was this fisherwoman who had brought a large rohu fish. And you and I just love it. So why don't we make our favorite rohu fish curry? So it was decided. And the two of them went to the kitchen. There lay the rohu fish. The wife washed it, cleaned the scales. And then the man, the chief minister, was ready with his knife. The fish was laid on the table, and he took the knife and thrust it into the belly of the fish. Out fell something. You guessed it? Yes. Red in color. They couldn't believe it. Immediately, the chief minister looked at it. My dear, do you see this? Do you see this? The wife, of course, recognized it. The red ruby, the king's red ruby. Immediately, they cleaned it, they wiped it with a clean cloth, and then the chief minister rushed to the king's palace. And then he called out, Majesty, Your Majesty, here, the red ruby, I've got your red ruby, I've found your red ruby, he said. Now the king was taken aback. Well, not just for, having found the red ruby, but also for his time of arrival. He looked at the ruby. Yes, it was the same red ruby. How did you find this red ruby now, minister? Asked the king. And the minister explained to him what all happened over the last 3 days. The king heard it, and he was totally taken aback. There was pin drop silence just like this for a couple of moments. And then, Minister, I must confess that I have a role to play in this too, he said, and he told about the entire plan that was done, which had started all of this in the first place. Minister, now I know that you are a man who doesn't just like that say something. You're a man who stands by what you say. You practice what you preach. I'm sorry. Please accept my apologies. I'm sorry for what I have done. I know you have gone through a lot. But, Minister, I'm so proud. I'm so happy that I have someone like you as my chief minister, he said, and he bestowed him with high honors and commended his wisdom. And my dear listeners, with that, of course, the misfortune of the chief minister changed for good. But it is not just of the chief minister, also of those servants, you remember, who fell prey to bribery. Thank you so much.
Lovely, lovely narration, Meenu. I just love the story.
Thank you, Geethanjali.
And the way you told was just amazing. I mean, we were literally, when we were literally listening and we didn't want to, pause at that moment. And when you were telling, we were feeling everything. It was literally going in front of our eyes. So very well told, very well told. It was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So, from the audience, if anybody would like to reflect on the story, this is so much related to your name, Meenu, and the fish. So, why did you select the story?
Well, I was actually, to be very honest, I wanted to tell another story, but I came to know that the story that I wanted to share was already shared in CSF 2026 a couple of weeks back. So then this story has been there with me for quite some time. Um, I mean, I might sound very cliched, but generally, but that's the fact that, it's the story that came to me. So, yeah. So I thought the way the story spoke to me was like, um, something like the king, right? I find myself closer to the character of relatable to the king because uh, end of the day, we are human beings. So yes, we do get so any smallest thing which goes off your plan or however you want it to be, I get upset. Right, so I get upset, and sometimes yes, we get so much consumed by that, right? And to the extent that we just forget about what's happening around, right? So we are not in the present. We get so lost into that. So that's why I said I have also used the same line. It's very easy to say what you say, but it is not easy to practice. That I have told whenever somebody has given me that advice. So I felt so really connected to the king, and I'm sure you'll all agree that as human beings, it's very difficult to, when there is something that's not going okay, it's there in the back of our mind. So I think we just have to train ourselves, but still we should not lose our present. So I felt this is an important message. It's a gentle reminder, sort of. I know it's very difficult to practice it, but it's a gentle reminder, I think, which we need to keep telling ourselves again and again, that this is something that we have to bring it into practice. So I thought I must share that. It's so relevant. So I thought I'll just share that.
Yes.
And
Thank you
yes, I
so
have
much.
tweaked it
Yes.
a lot, added quite a bit of drama.
No, but that was wonderful.
So
Yes.
that's how I felt. That's how usually it comes for me.
Right. Great, great.
Yeah.
Yes, Sudha is raising her hand. Yes, Sudha.
Yeah, hi Meenu.
Hi,
I
Sudha ma'am.
enjoyed your telling.
Thank
It
you.
was very, very dramatic, very alive, and the way you used your eyes and um, very expressive. I was reminded of another story, which is a favorite of Dr. Eric Miller, which
Okay.
is the Carnegie story,
Ah,
and how differently that turned out. I mean, it ended up with Carnegie burning the city of Madurai, her husband being wrongly blamed. And so, at least in this story, it all ended well.
Yes.
So what do you, I mean, are you happy that it ended well? It's nice. It's a feel good.
yeah.
It could have gone horribly wrong, for instance. I mean, if the ruby hadn't been spat out, or
True. But I always believe that at the end we should leave the audience with some hope. So
Yeah,
I would like to, go with a positive ending.
very nice.
Yeah.
The positive endings are always much appreciated than the negative, because you don't want to end the story with a sad moment. But
But
a
sometimes that
smile.
happens. I mean,
It happens, yes. I don't
yeah.
say it doesn't happen, but I mean, the mind accepts positivity more than the negativity in our story, I feel.
Yeah. We shouldn't lose
So,
the heart. The heart of the story should still be there. It shouldn't be like,
No. I mean,
yeah.
it was just a thought that because there are so many cases, court cases, where they don't solve, even murder. I mean, the evidence will be staring you in the face.
Hmm.
But but it's justice is never done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
so
Thank you so much.
we
But
are
it is
just
interesting
getting,
that you
yes,
got connect. I mean, you thought of the Kannagi story. It's very interesting that you would
connected.
do.
Yes, yes. We are getting short of time. Kajal, is it okay? Can you type on in the message? Because we need to move on to the next teller as we are getting short of time. I'm so sorry, Meenu, I'm sorry
No
about
problem.
this, but
Thank you. Thank you.
yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the wonderful story. So from our Chennai, we have Geethanjali Javid, and she is going to do the story of Pipi Dum Dum. Her name means an offering of songs. Isn't it, Geethanjali? Over to you. You're muted. You're muted.
Thank you, Sheetal.
Yes.
So can I take to a moment of gratitude to Eric and his team for putting up this show every year. Consistency speaks, and so happy to be part of this festival. And on that note, let me, without much further ado, into the story. And this story is something different, and it's about musical instruments. In our part, in the southern part, we have a particular music which is called the Nadaswaram or the. Can you see this? Yeah? Can you see the instrument? Musical
Yes,
instrument?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So this is called the Nadaswaram.
Yes, yes.
It is an air blown. Just to give a glimpse of what I'm going to narrate. What is this story about? I want you to have a background of the story. So this is Nadaswaram. It has 7 holes and it is an air blown instrument, and it sounds something like this. Did you hear it? Did
Not
you hear
very
it?
well, just a little bit. To
Okay.
enable music, you have to go into
Yeah,
audio.
I have enabled Eric.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
It was audible, actually.
This is called the tawil, and it is like the tabla or the drums, and which is made of animal skin. Either it is cow or goat.
Okay.
Now let's get into the story. How these two instruments, musical instruments, they both are of different entity. One is soul stirring music and another gives the vibration of energy and enthusiasm, etc., the drums, right? But how these two different entities came together and played as one music in the southern part of India as a very auspicious music. In any celebration begins by playing this music. So let's get into the story. Many hundreds of years ago, there lived a king called Rajendran. He was a leader of different stripe. He was at peace with himself. He was at peace with his people, subjects. He was at peace with the neighboring kingdoms. He was a connoisseur of arts. He loved music, storytelling, musical instruments. He would experiment. And also he believed that his people, after a day of hard work, in the evenings they should listen to music, listen to storytelling, indulge themselves in arts. And that bliss and happiness should convert into energy for the next day's work. This was a formula. And it worked perfectly well in Rajendran's kingdom. But this King Rajendran, he had a kind of attitude. After a few months or a year, he'll be listening to a particular musical instrument and then he'll get bored. And then he'll convey the message to his ministers. Okay, now I need to change of I want a new one, a new musical instrument please, he would say. And the ministers, as if they could read the king's mind, always used to be ready with the next musical instrument. The current flavor which was happening at the palace was that of the Nadaswaram, the pepe pepe, that sound. The soul stirring music, the king just loved it. But you know his attitude, he was just bored. He loved it though. And then he wait. Ministers, change of musical instrument, he said. And the ministers said, Your Highness, in the neighboring kingdom, there's a new instrument called tawil, and which is made of animal skin, and which gives a music like it gives vibrations, energy to people. It makes people dance. The minister said. The king was intrigued. Why wait? Bring the people immediately to our kingdom. Yes, they are from the neighboring. It will happen very soon, Your Highness, said the ministers. But who was hearing all this conversation? The Nadaswaram people, the Pipi people, and the team, the leader, Ponnappa. They were all hearing this conversation. What now? The king showered gold and silver on them. Oh, it's going to come to an end. So the team members whimpered to Ponnappa. Ponnappa, what now? We are doomed. Now a new musical instrument in the party is going to be present in the palace. What now? What about our families? What now? Ponnappa said, I know it has been going on in my mind for quite some time. And I have a plan. And you see, we are so lucky. These people are from the neighboring kingdom. I think the plan is going to work. What is the plan? What is the plan? Let us know, let us know. They whimpered. Wait, I'll tell you. We ride on our horsebacks. Along with us, we take the country's meanest, ferocious dogs. One among us will be disguised as a shepherd. We go to the border on the day the team plans to enter our kingdom. We stay at a distance before the border on our horsebacks. As soon as we spot the caravan entering our kingdom, we will unleash the dogs and we turn back and race towards the palace as quickly as possible. The shepherd, the disguised man, will be an eyewitness to the drama that unfolds near the border. How's the plan? He said. The members were like, really? Will it work? Do you think so? Yes, it will work. I'm your leader, you see, he said boastingly. And on that particular day, this Ponnappa and his team on the horsebacks with the ferocious, meanest dogs and the disguised shepherd, they all stood some kilometers away from the border. And they spotted the caravan. They unleashed the dogs and they just turned back and raced towards the palace while the shepherd was stay put. The dogs chased and just ran forward. It pounded the caravan and barked loudly. The people in the caravan, they were flabbergasted. What is happening? They were taken out of surprise. What is happening on the street? And they just shouted, help, help. Meanwhile, that leader, Devraj, was a man of wisdom. He said, stop yelling, use your mind. Take out your instruments and start playing, he said. All the members, they just took out the instrument and started to play. Dum-a-taka-taka-taka, dum-a-taka-taka-taka, dum-dum-dum. Hearing the deafening sound, the dogs, they ran helter-skelter. And they just feared for their life and just vanished into thin air. The shepherd? What am I seeing? Where are the dogs? Oh my God, this deafening sound. Oh, the dogs have vanished. The caravan is heading towards the palace. Oh no, he rode on the horse and just rushed to Ponnappa to convey the message. Ponnappa, we are doomed. We have lost everything. What happened? Oh my God, the caravan is on the way to the palace. The dogs just vanished. Okay, they are on the way to the palace? Yes. Okay, let's face the destiny. Let them face the court. Come on. And all of them walked to the court. The king was seated and the Tawil team, the Dum Dum team, presented themselves before the king. The king was eagerly waiting. He asked them to take the instruments and play immediately. They all took out the instruments and started to play. Dum-a-taka-taka-taka, dum-a-taka-taka-taka, dum-dum-dum. And the king, he tapped his feet, clapped his hand and shook his head to the rhythm of the music. His body shook. And he just enjoyed the music. And the music stopped. He just heaped praises on the Tawil team, Dum Dum team. Out of the blue, Ponnappa jumped in front of the king and said, Your Highness, I challenge these people for a competition. Let's have one. The king, you see, was a connoisseur of arts. Interesting. I love it. Let's have one, said the king. The spiritual guru, he intervened and said, Your Highness, whatever competition debate, we have it inside our temple premises. In the backyards of the temple, there's a banana garden. And in the banana garden, a particular banana tree will be chosen, the one which is pregnant with loads of bananas. The teams have to present the music in front of the banana tree. The team which has the potential to change the color of the unripe bananas from green to yellow will be declared as a winner, and this is the justice delivered by God himself. The king said, Yes, of course, that's a protocol. He looked at Devraj, the leader of the Tamil team. Devraj, do you accept the terms? Yes, Your Highness. So both the teams agreed. On a particular date and time, the teams stood in front of a tree, banana tree, loaded with bunch of bananas hanging out. The king invited, Ponnappa, come and play. So Ponnappa with his team took out the Nadaswaram and started to play. Pepe, pepe. And the king it was soul-stirring music. And he was like, just enjoying. He had tears in his eyes. And so did the kings who had come from other kingdoms invited by King Rajendran. They all had tears. He said, Ponnappa, the best music I've ever played, the king said. But what is the point? Did the bananas change its color from green to yellow? No. The king was sad. Then he invited Devraj and his team. Devraj, they pulled out their instruments and started to play. Dumataka taka taka, dumataka taka taka, dumataka taka taka, dum dum dum. The music, it made the people dance. The king, he tapped his feet, he clapped his hand and he shook his head. And everyone did so like that. But what is the point? Did the bananas change its color from green to yellow? Oh, no. The king was sad, disappointed. He said, something is missing. Something is fishy. What's happening? This has never happened in our kingdom. And then he invited Devraj and Ponnappa alone. He spoke to them. What is happening this time? I just can't understand. I think something is happening in your hearts here. Keep your hearts clean. I think it's filled with jealousy, deceit, hatred, greediness for each other. As the king was speaking, Ponnappa fell flat at the feet of Devraj. Devraj, brother, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Devraj was like, he was surprised. What is this man doing? Okay. I forgive you. Get up. What's happening? What, Ponnappa? You know what? It was me who sent the dogs to the border to chase your caravan. It was you who sent the dogs? What a stupid idea, man. Okay, don't worry, Ponnappa, not a big deal. I forgive you, don't worry. And these people started hugging each other. The king, he couldn't understand a thing. He was not aware of this and he was like, what's happening? Okay, now that you have become lovey-dovey, I have an idea. This man is a connoisseur of arts, you see, he said. Why don't you, both of you with the teams in front of the banana tree, play some music together as one for a particular raga and tal. How does it sound? The king asked. Ponnappa and Devraj. Yes, Your Highness, it will be done. And in front of the banana tree, both the teams took out their instruments. Pepe, dumataka, pepe, dumataka. And the king, Rajendran, the other kings, the people, they were just mesmerized with the kind of music which emancipated by playing those two instruments. The king thought, maybe this is what the heaven sounds like. What is the outcome of these two instruments playing together? And he just had tears of joy. What is the point? Did the bananas change its color from green to yellow? Did it change? Yes, the bananas changed its color from green to yellow. The king was so happy. He was on cloud nine over the moon. No words to describe his happiness. At the height of emotion, he declared, "From now on, I declare that any auspicious beginning in the palace or in the individual household in my kingdom, any auspicious event will start only when this music is played at the beginning. This will notify that the celebration is about to begin. And this is a rule that will be followed in this kingdom." The kings from the other kingdom, they also said, "Yes, yes, this music will be followed in our kingdom too." And all the people, all the subjects, all the musicians, all the kings, everyone was so happy. And the king said, "This will be called as the Mangala Isai, meaning auspicious music." And this Mangala Isai has survived thousands of years and still reigns supreme in the southern part of India. And any event, be it government sponsored event, any celebration at the temples, at the wedding, any auspicious event, it is incomplete without this music being played at the beginning. And that's the story of Pippi Dumdum. Thank you.
That was amazing. I didn't know you were talking about, instrument when I told the title of the story. That was really nice. Okay, people, we don't have much time for discussion because the time is running and we have to give the Zoom link at 4 for sure. Okay, so any one person can go ahead and ask one question or a reflection or something. Yes, yes, Uma, please. Sudha, sorry. You have to
Ma'am,
unmute
you're on
yourself.
mute, ma'am.
Yes, please unmute.
That was very well told, Geethanjali. Your dialogues were very contemporary. Though the story was, dates back many years, I think a very contemporary feel to it, and it was a good. It made us all feel very good. And
Thank you, ma'am.
you're looking great.
Thank you. And for your information, I have written the story, ma'am.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's superb. That's very nice. Amazing.
Thanks.
Okay, so it's time to move on to our next seller, Nivedita Sinha. Nivedita, I'm sure you're ready. So Nivedita is from Jamshedpur. The meaning of Nivedita means dedication and devotion, and she brings to us on the wings of a storyteller bird. Nivedita, over to you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Shita.
Yes.
Namaste and good afternoon to all. And thank you, Eric, for giving me opportunity to narrate this story. This story is about mountain and bird friendship story. Before I begin my story, I would like to ask you all a question. Have you ever had been someone in your life who changed you completely and disappeared? If yes, show me thumbs up. If you all, this story is all about this. Long before, long before cities were built, borders were formed, and anyone was in hurry, there was a mountain named Meru. Meru did not travel, did not chase for anything. He did not want more. He was there where he should. Clouds passed him. Sun rose, changed color, and disappeared. moon without fail appeared every night. This was his entire life, and he was fine with it. And you all know, when we don't know anything, we don't miss it. It happened with Meru. One day, Meru felt a strange movement in the surrounding. A flock of birds were flying across the sky. And all birds were noisy, loud, and determined. All of them flew past him, except one. One bird lost its control and flew down and sat on Meru's shoulder. Meru was frightened because he had never seen bird before and he had never spoken to anyone. But he asked, "Who are you?" Bird said, "I'm Maya. I flew from Himalayas. I was attacked and so I need to take rest." Meru said, "Okay, it's okay. Sure. But what is Himalayas?" Because Meru did not know about Himalayas or any other place. Maya was amused to know that Meru did not know about Himalaya, or he could not move from there. He did not have wings. Then Maya narrated many stories to Meru. She told stories of forest, snow, danger, and freedom, and flying for many days without landing. She enchanted him with the Himalayan adventure. After 2 days, she was recovered from her injury. She said, "Now it's time to join my friends. I have to leave." But Meru was very curious to know more stories. So he asked for more stories. Then she told him stories of creation of earth. And Meru listened, listened, and listened. He asked, "How do you know so many stories?" Maya said, and fluttered her wings. Said, "I collect stories and I am a storyteller bird, everyone calls me." And Meru listened, listened. He did not interrupt. He did not look away. And that the first time he was experiencing that was listening. And that time, Maya also said goodbye and promised him that she would return next year, same time. And she set off and she flew. Meru looked at Maya. How beautiful she looks flying towards the sunset. Days passed, weeks passed, months passed, and waiting became Meru's inner life. And another year arrived. Again, Maya, as she had promised, she flew back to Meru. And she came with new stories, new landscape, new danger, new way of looking towards the world. And every year she returned to mountain, that Meru, and she told many stories, and their friendship grew closer until one day Maya was growing older, and Meru sensed that his friend is becoming weak, and she was exhausted, and she was retiring from daily routine. And this time, Maya said to Meru, "Now I would not be able to come next year and next year and next year." Meru was disappointed, but she flew, Maya flew back to her own destination. And for the last time, Meru saw flying Maya with long wings and outstretched wings flying towards the sunset. That night, moon arose and clouds passed. Moon tried to soothe Meru by singing song. Rest for a while, the night is young, time is short, road is long. Tell me a story, I will sing. Tell me a story, and try to soothe Meru. Then again, days passed, month, month and year, another year came. One day, Meru noticed a bird flying, and he thought, could it be a Maya? Or could she come? That bird flew and sat on Meru's shoulder, just like Maya used to do. Oh, I am Tail Pig, and my mother told me that you listen, and she asked me to see you. Oh, then Meru understood that she was Maya's daughter. And then Tail Pig also narrated many stories, folk tale, fairy tale, and tale from Europe, and they also become good friend. And now Meru also started waiting for Tail Pig every year. But again, Tail Pig grew older, and she also said goodbye to Meru. This time, Meru was disheartened, and again that night, moon rose, clouds passed, but it did not work. And Meru also started growing older. And again, next year, one little bird came to him and said, "Oh, I am Maya's grandson. I know you listen, but I don't have time to tell you stories. I want to travel whole world." Then Meru said, "You have your wings. You can go anywhere. You go." Maya's grandson, thanked and appreciated Meru's understanding. And he set off. He went from there. Meru thought, are we living in a hurried world? This bird even He did not have time to tell me his name. And Meru, that night, cried a lot. His tears fell down on the dry earth. He thought now I would not able to get any friend. And the moment tears dropped on the ground, seeds grew. Seeds woke up and trees started growing and forest spread. Birds started flocking there and animals followed. And also at the feet of that Meru, a lake formed. And Meru started enjoying his surroundings. Then the bird, the grandson of Maya, returned to Meru and he was embarrassed by his action. And he was surprised to see the transformation of that mountain. And he had also heard while traveling a beautiful lake. Then he said to Meru, Meru, I want to stay here and listen a story from you, which my grandmother had told you. Meru started narrating story to Maya's grandson, and he also got companion. But Meru had not forgotten his friend Maya. Meru always remember her and let himself cry, and that tears make lake overflow, and from there the river had erupted and that flowed with many stories of mountain or hill. Do you think whenever you see any river, do you think they are also carrying any stories? What kind of, I'm asking you all, what kind of thoughts brings all these river and hills? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was wonderful telling, Nivedita.
Thank you.
Yes, please all, you can type in your reflections in the story because we won't be able to discuss here as the time is already over and we need to hand over to the host of Connect section, Ambujabali.